No. Hello?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, now I can. Yeah.
You can hear me.
Yeah, yeah.
Unbelievable, bro. This is amazing because this time my camera is better as well.
Yeah,
So
your
I can
camera seems to
actually,
be better, yeah.
yeah, it's better this time. So I mean, this is gonna be amazing.
Okay. What's the topic of the stream? Yes? Yes? I'll be down after.
Okay, now this time we're gonna talk about Donald Trump and Greenland. So is Donald Trump taking over Greenland? Fuck, my laptop charging is. My laptop is gonna die, and my brother actually took my laptop's charger.
Oh, shoot.
Oh my god. Okay, you can pull it up on your laptop actually.
I actually don't have a laptop.
You don't have a laptop at the moment? All right, I'll see how long it lasts. Uh, I still have some battery left, to be honest,
Yeah, that
but I
should be
think how
fine.
long. Yeah, okay. So we're gonna do Donald Trump in Greenland, by the way.
Donald Trump and Greenland.
I feel like I cannot even share my stream with anyone because. Oh, by the way, were you able to save the last video?
No, no, you didn't give me option.
Fuck that shit. I don't think if I have the option, I'm gonna have to go back and check and see
Bro, you, sh-
if
you
I
you
do.
should be able to save it. You should be able to save it.
Huh? Should
I'm
be able
pretty
to
sure
save it,
you
right?
should be able to save it because you're the one who
Yeah,
started it, right?
yeah. I mean, I should have been able to save it, but the thing is, when I was texting, sharing my stream with somebody because I told my friends to join in, and they said they were going to join in the comments, and I actually saw there were like two viewers at the end, so maybe one of them actually joined. But it's like when I sent in, I came back to the stream, it was already over, so he started a new
Uh,
stream. So I'm not sure about that one. I don't know what happened. So okay, so we're gonna read that one.
oh, is that your friend Zishan?
No, it's not Zishan. It's like one of the other guys, Barry.
Oh, okay, okay.
All right. Okay, so U.S. President Donald Trump has been discussing a range of options to acquire Greenland, including use of the military. The White House said. Yeah,
Yep.
the White House told the BBC that acquiring Greenland, a semi autonomous region of fellow NATO member Denmark, was a national security priority. How is that a national security priority? I don't get it.
I don't get it as well. I don't get it as well.
You know what they're doing, by the way? I think it's because they're afraid that Russia might be able to get it, and that's why they want to get it. But it's so bad for them because they're going to destroy the peace between NATO. Like Denmark
Yep.
is part of NATO. Denmark is also part of UN.
Yep.
So it's going to get destroyed. The NATO will collapse immediately right after this because so many countries would actually veto it. I don't think any country would actually take a stance to actually be in direct war with America. Let's say with Denmark, right? If
Yeah.
America is like, I'm going to take over Greenland, America was trying to do the negotiations, but Denmark, the president of Denmark actually held like an emergency meeting where they're saying like we should be ready for warfare if that happens. So I don't
Yeah.
think they're just going to give it to USA. So USA might have to take some military action, and then they might be able to take over it. And none of the other NATO countries are going to jump in because USA has a lot of power.
Yep.
Israel has a lot of power. They're not going to do anything. And a lot of the countries are doing business with USA, like UK, let's say, follows USA blindly. So they're not jumping into it.
Yeah.
And so I think this is very bad for that, man. This is very bad for the relationship that they have. And I know what they're doing. They don't want Russia to get any part of it. They don't want. And you know the other thing with Venezuela, it's
Mm-hmm.
not like the USA is going to get all the oil. They might not even be able to get it because the oil companies have already said no. They're like, we don't want to go to Venezuela because there could be a loss, like
Yeah.
what happened like 20 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
The leader of Venezuela at that time didn't allow the oil companies to get the oil at like a cheap price.
Yep.
So he was getting most of the oil at that time for Venezuela, and rightfully so because that's his sources, right? There's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah. To be honest, there's so many theories going around about Venezuela. To why US ended up taking hostage of the Venezuela president. Some were saying it's because um what do you call it, the Venezuela president, how do you say, baited out Netanyahu, saying like he was a Polish, he's not what do you call it, Israeli. So a lot of people think it's because Israel is behind it and they wanted him to be removed. One was that I heard another one, which one was what was the other one?
I mean, there's a lot of terrorism
That
ones as well. Like these guys have been involved in terrorism. They've been helping even Hezbollah, the one in Iran, out.
yeah.
They've been doing, and they've always been doing it for like I don't know how many years they've been doing it. They've always been supportive of like terrorist groups. Terrorist groups have actually trained there in Venezuela. They've carried
Oh
out their
wow.
activities as well. According to some of the sources, I don't know how legit the sources are, but one of the biggest one is that like the one with China. China is doing a lot of business with Venezuela. China does the most business with Venezuela. Like 80% of exports of Venezuela is to
Hmm.
China, I think.
Hmm.
Oh, sorry, maybe 80% of imports actually are from China to Venezuela, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So
I
and
think it makes sense because that's why even Donald Trump was saying like all the ties from China and Russia, then they can negotiate or whatever. I think
yeah, and
that's what he
China is
was
getting most of
explaining.
their China is getting most of their oil. China actually does. A few years ago, China was only having 2% of the business, right?
Yeah,
So Venezuela's 2% of the imports were actually but dependent on China, but now it's like 80% of the imports,
yeah,
which is kind of crazy to me. China's kind of
it is.
taking
Yeah,
over the world, but it's just a method. Like America's method is more like a bullying sort of method. I'm gonna take over your country. It's
that's
more
what
of
I'm saying. Yeah,
China's method
bro.
is completely different. It's all through the trade. The companies actually go there, they do the negotiations. They said, "We're going to build this for you. We're going to give you benefit of it,
Mm,
and might as well just let us help you." And they're doing the same thing in Brazil. They're doing this. They're doing more business in Brazil than USA. Although Brazil is closer to the United States, they're doing more
okay.
business in Colombia. They're doing more business in many of the other countries of like South America than USA.
Hmm. But that's a bit crazy how America just steps up and be like, okay, you better stop or we're gonna send bombs at you or we're just gonna kidnap you. They say same thing about Iran, bro. Donald Trump said like, if there is something fishy going on in Iran, we're gonna have to destroy it. He literally said it in his last life.
Yeah,
Like, what does America think he is, bro?
bro, even the way that Donald Trump actually talks, right? He's like, "Well, we're gonna take over Venezuela. We're gonna run it for a while." And then
Yeah, yeah,
Greenland. I want
yep.
Greenland. I want Greenland.
And
And
bro, he's threatening everybody. Now bro, casually he's doing it as well. He's like openly.
I
He's
think
saying
even
like,
the
okay,
funny is like
Greenland is next, Mexico is next,
Colombia.
uh, Colombia is next. Like, how, like,
I mean, Colombia
I'm
was
pretty sure he's breaking international laws, bro.
yeah, I think see, there was a point when Dave Rubio was so Marco Rubio was actually trying to kind of he was trying to play it defensive a little bit, like he was trying to defend it, like this is why we attacked on Venezuela. But like Trump immediately just immediately interrupted him and said that well, we're getting gonna get the oil. Basically, he
Mm,
doesn't give a fuck. He's like on the spot, public platform. He's just saying that we're going there for oil. We don't have a problem. The companies are going to go
wow.
there. They're going to get like millions of dollars, billions of dollars of oil. They're going to bring it to
Yeah.
USA, and our economy is going to boost. He's telling you his
But
motivations. He doesn't
yeah.
really care.
But to be honest, a lot of people were saying it's good for trades and it's good for what you call it billionaires, but for like normal citizens, it's pretty bad.
Well, we can see the America's first policy is kind of changing, and I'm not saying which one is better, but like you did your whole campaign based on like, oh, we're not going to do any foreign intervention, but now it's like,
Yeah.
oh, America first is okay with foreign intervention as long as the foreign intervention is not like a long foreign intervention, and as long
Hmm.
as it's good for the economy of the USA. So let's
Yeah.
say with the war in Iraq, they spent a lot of money, they spent billions of dollars, they didn't get much out of it,
Hmm.
right? There were no weapons of mass destruction. Everybody knew the motivations. With
Yep.
Afghanistan war, they spent billions of dollars in the Afghanistan war, but they didn't get much out of it, right? I think but it's different with Venezuela. With Venezuela, they're saying like, okay, we're just going to spend not as much money as we spend on those wars. Like we're only going to take like a few days. It's a very calculated mission, but
Yeah.
instead we're going to get a lot of money out of it. So it's still America first.
Yeah.
Like that's
Yep.
how they're shifting their policy, but they don't know what they're doing actually, because what
Yeah.
they're doing is they're trying to defend Trump so hard that they're trying to
Mm.
find any excuse that they can. But they don't
Yeah.
really know he's willing to indulge in any sort of battles. And you think it's going to be easy every single time? Like it's not going to be. There might come times when it becomes a little bit harder, and you might get
Yeah.
dragged into a war when there's like a superpower involved on the other side,
Yeah.
and things
Exactly.
might
That's
not
what I'm
actually
saying.
work out for you.
Yep. And a lot of people are saying he did that shit, like kidnapping the Venezuela president, is to hide the Epstein files. A lot of people are believing that as well.
Dude,
But to be honest, it actually makes sense because now all the attention is towards that topic. Nobody's talking about
Everybody's
Epstein
talking about
files.
Venezuela. Nobody's talking about the Epstein
Yeah,
files. Like, remember, Trump was so hot, like the Epstein files. Every day you would have a picture of Trump with a
yeah,
40-year-old or something. There will
yeah.
be something
Somebody.
about the Epstein files, but you don't see it as much because now everybody is talking about Venezuela, and people are like, oh, we're going to be talking about maybe like Cuba, we're going to be talking about Colombia, and then we're going to be talking about Greenland. And people have
Yeah,
got
that's true.
different, yeah, they're researching different topics now. And then Trumpies, they're always going to find a way to actually defend Donald Trump. They're going to say, oh, Donald Trump is like, he's the guy. And I think it's the stage presence, it's the confidence that he talks in, and that
Yeah,
gets a lot of people behind him. Now, moving on
but
to
I
the
don't think so.
topic of,
Anybody's behind him. Even the recent Venezuela that kidnapping, like his own American people are against him for doing that. Well, there's so many protests in America that they should free the Venezuela president.
yeah, there's a lot of protests going on, but there are also a lot of protests in Venezuela that are happy about the president actually getting dethroned. I think the reason because he was like a dictator, right? And the civilians were not happy with it. So at the same time, there's a lot of people. By the way, I'll share like an important story right now because I
Yeah,
was looking at it from very one side, and it was like America definitely did the wrong thing, and I would say still they did the wrong thing. But somebody in the one of my colleague in the office, she's from Iran actually, right?
yeah,
And she's like, she's really happy that America actually went to Venezuela and did that because that guy she believes was also involved in doing the activities in Iran. So with Hezbollah,
yeah.
so they believe that this guy is behind of a lot of activities that Hezbollah is doing. Like Hezbollah is getting a bit of training over there in Venezuela,
Mm,
and the way he's treating his civilians. And Iran can relate to by because the new government of Iran, Al Khamenei, this guy, the way he treats the Iranian people, women are completely oppressed. They have to go outside with like full burqa, and they're not allowed to do any sort of like social activities. And it's not even just women; it's the sports athletes as well. Anybody who talks about the government, so it's not even just about the clothing. It's like you talk about the government, you say anything about the government, and they would hang you, dude. There's guys like there was
Bro, I
a
don't think so.
few.
That's true. I don't believe that.
Bro, there's so
I
many.
do not believe that. The reason why I feel like the Western media portrays them to be like that, bro. They said the same thing about Afghanistan, and look how many
So
YouTubers have traveled
why
to
are the
Afghanistan,
Iranian people saying that? Why are the Iranian people saying that? So I know
bro.
two women from Iran. This one is my colleague. So she says
But bro,
she don't
there's a
know
lot
it.
of basically there's a lot of Christians in Iran as well, so they want that type of freedom. You get what I mean? But Iran is a Muslim country, so they're gonna have those restrictions. Same with Afghanistan, bro.
No, no, no,
America
no. But
portrayed Afghanistan to be like one of the worst countries, and then when a lot of YouTubers actually went there and what you call it, they did tour of whole Afghanistan. It was not like that. It was very
okay,
hospitable, bro.
Afghanistan has changed over the last couple of years, right? Afghanistan
Yeah.
has changed. I know their youth is
You
a
don't
lot
think
into
Iran
social
has
media.
changed?
Huh?
You don't think Iran has changed?
Dude, Iran has changed for the worst. Iran has become more extreme. If you look at 1973, 1975, right?
Yeah.
Iran used to be more Western. So Iran is going completely the opposite way. They were
Okay.
more Western. And then Al Khamenei
So
came. And by
that
the
is
way,
better than that is better for Iran because that is a Muslim country, right?
no, but it's not Islam. That's the problem, right?
No, no, no. Now what I'm saying is they have like restrictions based
Dude,
on
it's
like
not
okay,
normal restrictions. Normal restrictions would be like Pakistani sort of restrictions.
yeah.
This is kind of making fun of the religion. It's like anybody talks about the government, and we're going to hang you and all of this stuff.
One minute.
Why do you think that many people from Iran are actually talking about it?
Yo, bro, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I'm saying, why do you think that many people from Iran are actually talking about it? Like, Pakistan is an Islamic country as well. We have a lot of restrictions, right?
Mm-hmm.
But Iranian restrictions are completely different from the Pakistani restrictions. They don't let anybody talk about the government. You're literally not allowed to. And the government is not even, it wasn't like a democracy. It was dictated. It was the USA. USA top of the government in like 1980s or 9. Iran had like a war with Iraq. So after
Yeah.
the war with Iraq, USA actually toppled the government of Iran as well. And that's when
Mm-hmm.
the extremists actually came. And it was kind of an agenda, I would say, like propaganda by USA to create like a civil war. And now nobody's
Okay.
happy. What sort of government is that? Like nobody living in the government is actually happy with them. And
Mm-hmm.
okay, I've seen different type of people, right? So one of my friends, she's a professional dancer. She does like dancing and stuff. She's not allowed to dance over there. And okay, you
Okay.
can say like it's an Islamic country, so maybe they could have some sort of rules. Although I
Mm-hmm.
kind of disagree with it at the same time because I don't think the rules should be to that extent. where you're
Yeah.
not even allowed to perform like an activity. But even one of my colleagues who is very simple, I would say, even for like an Muslim person, very simple, even she's not allowed to criticize Iran in any way. And she says how bad the conditions are in Iran. It's so everything is so expensive. The economy is bad. It's messed up. People are not allowed to do their own free business. It's very difficult. If you're really rich, then you can actually. She was telling me about the prices. So if you're getting meat,
Mhm.
right meat, the average wage in Iran right now.
Mhm.
Sorry, the minimum wage in Iran right now is $120. Let's say, right? So
Okay.
Iran's currency is quite low, so $120, and then that would be the in Iranian, whatever in Iranian currency that is, right?
Yeah.
But if you're getting 1 kg of meat, that's like $20. So it
Okay.
means you can only buy meat 6 times in a whole
Mhm.
month, and that's it. You wouldn't be able to do anything. So that's how bad it is.
Okay. I don't know about economical point of view.
Yeah, with everything, Iran is doing really bad as a country overall. Like I know they're like the partnership with Russia and they're giving hard time to USA and stuff, but like
Mhm.
to their own people. One thing of the Islamic government is also to keep your people happy, because also
Yeah.
Islam believes in democracy and you need to take care of your people. But how they're
Mhm.
treating their people, literally
Yeah. I
their
mean, if they
athletes,
if they if they are treating their people bad, then it's pretty bad to be
bro,
honest.
their athletes are they're so bad for the athletes. Like I look at the news on like Instagram and stuff.
Yeah.
They've recently killed so many athletes. They literally hung the athletes because there was like a guy who was like a 3 time karate champion or something,
Okay.
and he talked about like the government just dead. So that's how it's
Mhm.
happening.
So there you can't just talk about government at all.
You just can't talk about government. You cannot criticize any policies of the government. So even if we
Mm.
talk about like the economic policy, you're outside, you can talk about it. You go to Iran, and that's what nobody's happy about it. You know, Iranian people are actually more happy when USA beat Iran in the World Cup, FIFA World Cup.
Oh wow.
They were actually more happy about it. So they want the government to get toppled. And I see when you're too much to the extreme, right? Then the
Yeah.
problem is people actually get repelled away.
Yeah,
Then
that's
what they
true.
see, they don't even stay in the middle. It's like now
Mm.
they just want to stay away from me. They're like, okay, we want to be completely different. So they want to be completely liberal right now. They don't
Yeah.
want anything to. And what happens is that also puts the name of Islam down because they're gonna say, all right, that was the Islamic Republic of Iran. So this is Islam, and like we want to stay away from Islam. But when you can
Yeah.
actually give like a peaceful picture of Islam and show that oh, Islam has got tolerance, you
Yeah.
can actually do that, but you can actually do that in moderation,
Mhm.
right? And by the way,
Yep.
even in Islam, it never at no place it actually says that should the woman cover herself. Like it's totally up to the woman.
Not
Totally up to
forcefully.
the woman.
Yeah, it is up to the
It's not
woman. Yeah.
forcefully. It's never
Yeah.
forcefully. The
Yeah.
prophet. Can a woman work? Not. It's not. It's totally up to her. If she wants to
Yeah.
work, she can.
You know
I
what
mean, the
is? I
prophet
think.
while
Yeah. I
they
think
were
it's
riding as
is.
well. They were riding camels. They were doing battles. There was a
Yeah.
lot of stuff that women were doing. They had their own conferences where they were asking Holy Prophet the questions.
Yep.
Even in marriage, like the girl is allowed to see the guy before that. There's like a
Mhm.
hadith about it. So I think they just made like an extreme version of it, and they're
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
running the
I feel
extreme,
like
extreme
people have
version.
twisted the words. Yeah. People have twisted the words in
Yeah,
this.
bro. Even in the Prophet days and even in the Caliph days, people were
Yeah.
criticizing the government. Like that wasn't a problem. They had like their
Yeah.
own shura going on. Like even
Mhm.
the Caliph would actually come, like Hazrat Abu Bakr or Hazrat Umar or whoever was the Caliph, and
Mhm.
they would ask people to actually ask them questions. There are times like there are instances from the books that we can see that people were putting them on the spot. Like, all
Yeah.
right, could you please like elaborate on this one?
Mhm.
How did that happen? Would that be a good economic policy? And they were answering the questions.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah, so the thing about that is, I think they're just not like I like they can give hard time to like some of the like America and probably like Israel.
Yeah.
You
Mhm.
can like that aspect of it, but at the same time, they're not good towards their own people. Like
No.
their people are
Basically, I
really
had this concept that okay, my concept of Iran was they were just what you call it strict on rules, and people weren't respecting that. You get what I mean? I didn't know, okay, they were like treating their own people badly and stuff like that. Because, like, let's just say if we go to America and they do have restrictions and they do have rules, you have to comply, right? Same in UK, you can't, like, there's times you can't just park randomly on main road in daylight because you get a ticket.
yeah, yeah.
That's the rule, right? So I thought people just were not respecting that point. But I did not know what you call it. They were treating their own people badly like that.
No, no,
If
no,
they were
bro.
doing
UK
that,
is a
then
much
it's pretty
better.
bad. Yeah.
UK is a much better country. Like there's freedom of religion. People can profess any religion that they want. There's freedom to criticize the government. Like on social media, we can go. I know it can be hard sometimes. Like with some of the policies, like it's hard to criticize. But you can criticize Keir Starmer at any time. Like that's not a
Yeah, that's
problem.
true. Yeah.
There's so many posts about
Bro,
it. It's not.
now I think there is a problem, right? I feel like they are like I've heard a lot of people getting like in trouble by
It's
just
very recent. It's
criticizing.
very
Yeah,
recent. I know, like
recently it has
now,
happened. Yeah,
just like now, recently, yes, some of the people are getting in trouble because it's. I think after the COVID, right? It's like
yeah,
everything went so woke for like a few years, but then it's
yeah,
like Trump came back, and then it's getting to the other extreme as well at the same time, like
yeah,
the nationalism of like the white nationalist movement and stuff. It's getting pretty active these
yeah. That's
days,
true.
but also it's
And
like because
bro,
they
do
were
you
so
remember that
repelled.
time when Boris Johnson was president? Everybody was mocking him, making videos about him. Nothing happened, and now
Yeah,
it's actually changing. Yeah, everything is changing.
yeah. Now everything is changing. Yeah, true, true. And UK just blindly follows USA. You're gonna see that every single time.
Oh
The
yeah,
way
that's
they
true.
It's like I was watching like a video. It's like a funny video. It's a Keir Starmer is standing and he's giving a speech, and then
Hmm.
somebody's holding like a teleprompter, and then he's just reading the script basically from there. It's and that is given by
That is
USA. So
funny.
basically, USA is just telling him say that, say that.
Oh
Even about
my
the attack
god.
on Venezuela, it's like I don't know anything about Venezuela attack. They didn't inform me about the Venezuela
Yeah,
attack.
bro. How does he not know that he's the president? I'm pretty sure he knows that he's just pretending like to not get involved. Basically,
Yeah, or
he
maybe
knows it's gonna be bad. To be honest.
he looks bad in every single condition. Like if he doesn't know about the attacks, the USA did not inform him of the attack.
Yeah,
You're part of you're part of NATO, and then you're one of the closest allies of the USA, and USA did not even inform you of the attack.
yeah. That's what I'm saying.
That also looks very bad. Like you remember the Qatar attack when Israel actually attacked Qatar. They
Yeah,
told USA probably last minute as well.
yeah. That's true.
They're saying they told USA last minute. So Donald Trump doesn't look good in this one. It's like how are you good friends when Israel can attack the enemy at any time?
Yeah, anytime. But from what I've heard, they did inform Qatar as well that they're gonna specifically target this part of the area, right?
They
Because they
informed
think there's
Qatar.
like terrorist activities. Yeah,
Yeah,
apparently they
I'm
did
not sure
inform
about it. Look,
Qatar as
the
well.
guy was their leader was obviously a bit worried as well because they don't have the weapon capacity. USA is very interested in Qatar because, first of all, geographically, it's a very good location. Like USA does have a lot of bases. The biggest military air base is in Qatar, right?
Yeah,
Plus, Qatar has a lot of money. There's a lot of oil and stuff, so there's a lot of
yeah,
business
yeah.
going
That's
on.
true.
The USA does love
Yeah,
the money, but the other side is that Qatar does not have the army, so it's obviously worried about them attacking Qatar again. So it has to
yeah.
play along. Like I don't know if they actually informed him. Like there's a possibility they didn't inform him, and then after they
Hmm.
did the attack, it's like they told him to say that we did inform you.
Yeah,
So that's a possibility as well. But maybe he was informed. Maybe he didn't have a choice. He was like he had to give it up. Maybe
I think so. Yeah, I think
in
so.
both
Possibly.
situations. But even about the government in Venezuela, people believe that Russia and China are actually involved in toppling the government because they were also not fans of Maduro. They
Hmm.
wanted like a regime change over there
Yeah.
because it was more like a communist government, and then the capitalistic the businesses were not actually thriving. So maybe China and Russia see that they could have more benefits in terms of business if the
Hmm.
government actually changes. And then there's also a theory that maybe Trump is with China and Russia. Maybe I'm taking it too far.
Yeah.
So, like behind the doors,
Hmm.
there's also theories that Trump is he's like an agent of like Russia and China, and he's actually on a mission to destroy America because he's probably in business with those countries as well behind the doors.
That would be a bit crazy.
Maybe there was something that those
That
countries were
would be a
getting
bit
out of it. They
crazy.
were
Yeah.
happy with toppling the government. Trump is like, okay, I'll be the one to take the action.
Damn, that would be a bit crazy. But why would he risk his life like that? To be honest, right?
Bro, he's already at the end of his career. He knows he's only
He
gonna live for
is.
like a
Yeah.
few years. He's
Yeah, that's
just
true.
doing it. He's doing whatever he can.
He's taking the risk.
Yeah. So Donald Trump been discussing a range of options. So let's look at like Denmark and Okay, so European leaders issued
But
a
why do
state.
you think, I know he's saying from a security point of view he wants to get Greenland, right? What do you think is the real reason he wants to get the
I don't know,
Greenland?
man. I know for sure there's a lot of oil in Greenland. I know that
Hmm.
for sure. But I also think it's a very good location. So security reasons would actually make a lot of sense. Like you're in Greenland, it means you're on close to Russia, first of all. So you're
Okay,
controlling
yeah,
one more area close to Russia. And Greenland is a big location. You know how big Greenland is? It's massive. I know
mm,
only like 20% of it's habitable because 80% of it is like ice. But you could
yeah,
have a base there. You could have a base there. It's such a big location that they would have.
yeah, makes sense,
And
yeah.
I think that's what they want to do. They want to be able to control the area. And I think we're going back to the point. There was a
But
point
do you
when
not think
everybody
Russia
was.
will tolerate it if they would pick up on that, right?
I think Russia might have a problem with it as well. I think
Yeah,
Russia might have a problem because Russia will say that, oh, how are you taking over Greenland when Denmark actually has the sovereignty of Greenland? If you can take
yeah,
it, then I can take it as well. Then Russia might actually go get into war and be like, oh, I'm taking half of it.
yeah. That's true,
So
actually. Yeah,
we'll see what
that's
happens. Depends upon the economy as well. Russia destroyed a lot of its economy over
true.
Ukraine. And I don't know, Russia's economy is not as good as US's economy. It's
I
not the
see.
same. Yeah.
Yeah,
So I don't know what goes over there, but the world is actually going back to the time of like the world wars and like expanding the empires.
yeah. It's
So
going back to that time, so
it's
I can
if
see it
you
now.
look at like the last year, it's just going there slowly. There was a time when everybody was just trying to expand their empire. There wasn't
Mm,
much of like toleration. There wasn't much of sympathy for other people.
yep,
But then after the Second World War, I think because there were like atomic weapons and all of this, and people like became more sympathized towards the others, and they were welcoming of other races coming to their country,
yep,
abolished the slavery, more welcoming of different religions, different nationalities.
yep.
But
That's
now
true.
I think it's going back to the point where you're like, if you can expand, just expand. Like if you look at Trump, right? If
Hmm.
it's like if I can take this, I'm going to take this. If I can take this, I'm going to. He's not looking at like what's good for the other country. He's just looking at himself. It's like, all right, we should control this area. We should control this area. And we are
That's
strong enough. We
true.
can. Basically, he's saying that we're going to do it because we can. There's
Yeah,
not much we can do it. So I'm going to expand it. So it's a terrible place, to be honest. I feel like,
yeah. I think it's a terrible act as well.
I think
It's
at
a
this
very
point,
bad
it's
act.
not good because
Yeah.
there was time
But
when
bro,
people were,
what's to say China can't do same then? China is gonna be like, okay, if America is doing that, I'm gonna do that as well. Russia is gonna do same thing.
China can do the same, but China's
Because
playing
those
smart.
three are the biggest country, right?
I think only Russia and America have the same sort of like attitude, right? where
Yeah.
where they where they're like attacking the countries, actually using the weapons to attack the country. China does have the capacity to attack the countries. Don't get me wrong.
Hmm.
Chinese soldiers do have the training, and China does have a lot of technology that
Yeah.
can be used to attack. But it's got a very smart strategy, which is I'm going to expand my horizon through the business because you know how much money do you actually spend on the weapons? How much money do you actually spend
Yeah,
on
that's
the
true.
on the wars? There's like billions of dollars. Russia's economy went down after they fought with Ukraine because there was a lot of money. Like US was helping Ukraine, right?
Yeah.
US is also spreading Ukraine. They're spending a lot of money. Russia's also spending a lot of money. So it's indirectly kind of like Ukraine doesn't have an army to that extent. It was
Yeah.
indirectly like Russia versus Ukraine in a space. And both of the countries are spending a lot of money. So their economies are getting destroyed. While meanwhile, China is just doing businesses with other countries. They're expanding themselves
Yeah,
to
that's
South
true.
America,
Yeah.
North America. The technology is the most advanced. Like it's much better than America and yeah, Russia. You know that. If you talk about
Yeah.
the weapon wise, I think America has really good
America
technology.
has, yeah.
But like if you're looking at anything else like robotics or like
Business
computer
point,
science,
yeah, business point, I think China is killing it, to be honest.
China's just better with everything now.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
they're expanding their businesses everywhere. I mean, South Asia, you talk about not it's South America, Africa, they're taking over,
That's very
man.
true. That's true.
And the USA will see China as like a big threat, but why don't they accept it? Why can't they have good relationships with them? Why do you have to see them as a threat? Right?
Yeah.
It's always like, oh, they're different. They're different. Why do you have to see them as different? Why can't you see them as like friends? Because I don't think China has the aim to take over the USA by like weapons.
Yeah, yeah. No way. I don't think so, no.
No,
I
it's
think
yeah.
I
So
think it's all about power, you know? Like America wants to be number one when it comes to power. America wants to be in control of the world.
they want to be in control of the world, and they see they don't have the same
Kind
sort
of,
of
yeah,
control.
yeah, exactly. I feel like they basically demand that authority.
Yeah, but I feel like that's the statement about the Greenland. That's going to be a problem because now we're seeing European leaders. issued a joint statement rallying behind Denmark, which has been pushing back against Trump's ambition for the Arctic land. And then Trump repeated that U.S. needed Greenland for security reasons. Or the okay, and then Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen, that's the Prime Minister of Denmark, he said that to warn that any attack by the US would spell the end of NATO. So he's giving a straight
Mm,
warning. He's like, you do any attack,
wow,
and then we're ending. That's the end of NATO
wow, okay.
right after. But
That's
Trump is the kind of guy, like even Marco Rubio said that take Trump seriously for his word. And I think we
mm,
should learn this lesson. Like if Trump is saying something, just yeah, he would do it.
but I think it's bad as well, to be honest.
Hmm?
It's bad. Like if NATO is over, then basically all these European countries are gonna go against what you call America, right?
Most of the
I'm
European
not
countries, except
I'm
the
not saying
UK.
like they can beat America, but I'm saying it's gonna be very bad because all over is gonna be some sort of war going on.
Yeah, yeah. Some of the countries are very
It's
close to
gonna
America.
lead
Like
to then World War III. You can probably say
that's going to be a
because
problem. Like
yeah, it's
France
gonna be bad
supported
from
USA in the Venezuela
economy.
attack.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a problem. I mean, some of the countries. So, like, some of the countries are like because they have so many relations with America, and America is actually helping them out with a lot of things. They have a lot
Mm,
of business relationships. They side with America on some of the issues. They might criticize the government, but like with France, right? France was a big supporter of the Democrats. He was a supporter of the Joe Biden, but
yeah,
then didn't like the conservatives because Donald
yeah,
Trump would make fun of like the France and stuff. But on the Venezuela issue, he actually sided. France actually sided with USA.
that's
I
true.
think it's just because of the economic reasons. They don't have a choice. Same with like
Yeah,
Germany and some of the like with the Palestinian issues. There will be times when Germany would actually go against the brutality by the Zionists in Palestine, right? By the Israelis.
yeah,
But then at the same time, there will be time when they will be making statements supporting what IDF is sort of doing and not calling it a genocide on spot. It's because of the history as well. Because they were the ones who did the worst to the Jews, right? So I
mm-hmm,
think they're pretty defensive. Like Germany, especially, they're so defensive. Like anytime anything happens,
mm-hmm.
they don't really say anything about the Zionists because it's for them it's the
Yeah,
worst.
yeah, that's
It's
true.
harder for them. I
They get
understand
a
it.
lot of heat. That
Yeah,
is, they
there's a
would.
lot of protests going on in Germany, by the way. Like people in Germany actually support Palestine, but for the government to actually make a statement is really difficult.
Yeah, yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. So I don't know about the issue of like Denmark, which side they're gonna go with. I like Germany and France are the countries because they've got so many relationships with the USA. They
Yeah,
could go either way. I'm not sure about it, but every other country is going to be on the side of Denmark. Every
yeah,
other country,
yeah. That's true.
like Finland, Sweden, they're all going with Denmark.
That's true.
Even the Eastern
Bro,
European countries.
yeah. Just give me 1 second.
Yeah, that's right.
Hello.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, you're
bro.
back.
Yeah, I'm back. Sorry.
Yeah, I was saying that is kind of bad. Okay, so I can see the White House actually said on Tuesday that the president and his team are discussing a range of options to pursue this important foreign policy goal. And of course, utilizing the US military is always an option at the commander in chief disposal. So they're going to look at different options. Like they might try to call him negotiations, but they're keeping the option of U.S. military option open.
Hmm.
So that's still
Yeah,
an option. So I mean, if nothing works out, which I don't think it's going to work out, I don't think the negotiations will actually work out. You're not going to be able to pay them enough money if you do that. So
that's true.
that would be a problem.
Bro, numbers are low here. Should we try kick?
Do you want to try kick?
Let's try kick. Yeah.
Okay, let's try kick. That'll be the last one, and then after that, I'll go to Steve.
All right, that's fine. All right.
Okay, no worries.